Everyone, my name is Niyati Said and thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. My topic for the presentation is biological classification. So let's proceed towards our topic, that is biological classification. Since the dawn of civilization, there has been many attempts to classify living organisms, isn't? It was done instinctively, not using criteria that were scientific, but born out of a need to use organisms for our own use, for food, shelter, and clothing. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a more scientific basis for classification. He used simple morphological characteristics to classify plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also divided animals into two groups, those which had red blood cells and those that did not have red blood cells. And they were further classified into hard bodies and soft bodies. Okay, and then it was further divided into shell and non-shell. Okay. Shellfish belongs to the shell soft body category and the jellyfish belongs to the no shell soft body category. Okay. Now the two kingdom classification. In the Linnaeus time, a two kingdom classification of with plants and animal kingdom was developed that included all plants and animals respectively. Okay, this time was used till very recently. This system did not distinguish between eukaryotes and prokaryotes, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Classification of organisms into plants and animals was easily done and was easy to understand, but a large number of organisms did not fall into this category. Hence, the two kingdom classification used for a long time was found inadequate. Okay. So, we know that has two kingdom classification. That means Plantae and animal. Okay. So, it was proposed by Linnaeus. This system classifies organism into two kingdom, that is Plantae and animal. Okay. As you can see by this diagram that life is divided into two categories, plants and animals. Plants that stay in place, that means they don't move, okay, and they prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. And the animals, they walk, they eat, okay. Now, distinguish between two kingdoms. The Plantae kingdom includes the organism that contain green plants, mosses, ferns, many colorless and colored unicellular organisms, molds, fungi, lichens, bacteria, and multicellular seaweeds. This classification system was originally proposed by Linnaeus, of course, and following are the few distinguishing characters of plant in general. Okay. So what are those distinguishing characters? That plant vary greatly in form and size. The body is usually asymmetrical. In higher form of plant structures like leaves and plants, they have a definite form and shape. Second, plants are fixed with roots in the soil and they are not capable of motion. Certain localized movements may occur in plants. Okay, they grow throughout their lifespan. This is the most distinguishing feature of plants. Okay, whereas animals, they can't grow throughout their lifespan. Now, if we talk about their nutrition, then nutrition in plant is usually autotrophic and saprophytic. Minerals in solution state are absorbed. Particulate matter cannot be absorbed by the roots. And if we talk about their body, then the body of the plant is composed of cells. All the cells of the plant body have a distinct cell wall. The cells have a vacuole filled with sap and plastids of different kind. The plant cells, they do not have centriole and lysosome. Please remember this. Okay. Plants have reserved food as starch. Now, if we talk about the distinguishing characteristics of plants in general, then again I'm repeating that plants, they vary greatly in form and size. Body is usually asymmetrical. They are fixed with roots in the soil and they are capable of motion. Nutrition in plant is usually autotrophic and saprophytic, as I told you. And the body of the plant is composed of cells. Okay. Now, the distinguishing features of animals. Kingdom Animalia includes many unicellular protozoans and multicellular organisms. These organisms do not have chlorophyll and photosynthetic ability. Animal kingdom was originally proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. This kingdom includes protozoans, sponges, jellyfishes, worms, crabs, insects, spiders, frogs, sharks, lizards, birds and mammals. Now, if we talk about their distinguishing characteristics of animal in general, then the body of animal, they exhibit a definite symmetry, form and shape. Animals can move from place to place. Unlike plants, body growth in animals is determined and it occurs proportionately in all body parts. Animal, they possess the capacity to respond to stimulus. Animal body is also made up of cells. The cells, they do not have the cell wall. Okay? Whereas a plant, they have the cell wall. Okay? The cells do not contain plastid and vacuole of animal cell. Okay? But centrosome and lysosomes are present in animal cell. Okay? Animal cell, they cannot synthesize some necessary amino acid, vitamins and coenzymes on their own. They are to be obtained from external sources. Okay? That's why they are called as essential amino acids and all. Okay? And the reserve food is in the form of glycogen in animal cell. Okay? Now, we'll talk about the demerits of the two-kingdom classification. The two-kingdom classification was in use for the long period of time. As more information came into picture about various groups of plants and organisms, this system was found to be inadequate. Okay? So, what were the drawbacks? The demerits were, you can say that some protozoans like Euglena, they possess characters of both plants and animal. They are not classified in a particular group. Okay, this is the first and the foremost demerit of the two-kingdom classification. Now, if we talk about the second one, then there is no proper distinction between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, like in the case of bacteria without a nuclear envelope, and the cellular organelles are placed in the plant kingdom. And the third demerit is that in the system of two-kingdom classification, both photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms are placed together in the kingdom Plantae, which is not done. Okay? For example, the fungi, they lack chlorophyll and are saprophytic in nature, but they are placed in the animal kingdom. And the fourth demerit is that organisms like the lichens, they do not fall either in the animal or the plant kingdom. And the fifth disadvantage of the two-kingdom classification is that organisms like the diatoms are placed under the plant kingdom, while the protozoans are placed under the animal kingdom. These organisms are of the same level of organization and they reproduce by fission, yet they are placed in different kingdoms. Okay? And some organisms, they possess characters of both plants and animals, like Euglena and Chlamydomonas. So they can belong to any kingdom. Okay, and the last disadvantage of the two kingdom classification is that modes of nutrition considered in this system are assimilation and ingestion. Absorption type of nutrition is not recognized. Okay, this was drawbacks of the two kingdom classification. Now, what was the merit of the two kingdom classification? Organisms were classified into plant kingdoms and animal kingdoms based on their specific characteristics. Okay, this system initiated systemic, or you can say systematic method to classify living organisms. Okay, that's why five kingdom classification came into being. Okay, now organisms are divided into five major kingdoms. R.H. Whitaker proposed the five kingdom classification in 1969. The most common system of classification in use today is the five kingdom classification. In this system, all living organisms are divided into five kingdoms. The classification of living organisms according to the Whitaker into five kingdoms, namely, are as follows: plant, animal, fungi, protista, and monerans. Okay, first is Plantae. Plantae, they are eukaryotic, they are multicellular, they have the capability to synthesize their own food by the process of photosynthesis. They are non-motile and reproduction is seen. Okay, and now come to the Animalia. They are eukaryotic, they are multicellular, of course, they can ingest, they are motile, that means they can move from one place to another, and they are asexual. Okay, and then comes fungi. Fungi, they are eukaryotic, multicellular, they are non-motile, and the reproduction is seen by the sexual reproduction. Okay, and then comes a protista. Protista, they are single-celled eukaryotes and they are mainly aquatic. It includes diatoms, golden algae, euglena, and protozoans like amoeba, paramecium, plasmodium, etc. They are mostly marine and photosynthetic. Okay, and then comes a monera. Consist of primitive organisms. The organisms are very small and single-celled. They consist of prokaryotes, which includes species like the bacteria, archaebacteria, cyanobacteria, and mycoplasma. Okay. Always note that fungi is also known as kingdom mycota. Okay, the mycota or kingdom fungi, they both are the same thing. Okay, so kingdom fungi, they consist of network of thread-like structure called as mycelium. That's why mycota name is given to this kingdom. Okay, the bodies consist of a long thread-like structures which are called hyphae. These organisms are mostly saprophytes or parasites and are also symbionts. Okay, kingdom of class I also includes lichens, mycorrhiza, etc. Okay, and one thing that Plantae is also known as metaphytae. Kingdom metaphytae. Okay, they are eukaryote multicellular plants. They contain chlorophyll pigment which helps them prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. This kingdom includes all type of plants like herb, shrub, tree, flowering and non-flowering plants. Examples, you can say rose plant, mango plant, guava plant. Okay, and animal kingdom is also known as kingdom metazoa. Okay, they are heterotrophic, eukaryotic, multicellular organisms. They lack cell wall. This kingdom includes all type of cells, animals. Sorry, examples lion, peacock, tiger. Okay, so what is the biological classification? It is defined as the process of giving hierarchy of categories by scientific procedure based on the feature of organisms and arranging them into different groups. Okay, that's why we need to do biological classification. Okay, because biological classification that helps in the studying wide variety of organisms and interrelationship among different groups. This biological classification system increases as more species are found and classified. Okay, now what's the need for biological classification? To study and include each organism along with its identification and habitat. Okay, and the second need is that is to establish the relationship between different organisms and to know about their evolution, means how they evolved. Okay, now the 5 kingdom classification will study in detail. It was proposed by R.H. Whitaker in 1969. It includes monerans, protistans, fungi, plants and animalia. Okay, this classification is based on cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction and phylogenetic relationships. Okay, so these are the 5 kingdoms: monerans, protistans, fungi, plantae and animalia. Okay, now the characteristics of the 5 kingdom classification will study. Okay, monerans, protistan, fungi, plantae and animalia: cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, body organization and mode of reproduction. So monerans are prokaryotes if we talk about their cell type, and protistans are the eukaryotes. Okay, fungi, plantae and animalia, they all are eukaryotes except moneran. Okay, now if we talk about their cell wall, then monerans, they are non-cellular. That means they is composed of polysaccharide and amino acids. Okay, and protistans, they are present in some, means cell wall is present in some of the protistans is seen. Okay, and cell wall in fungi is present without cellulose. Please remember this. And if we talk about the plantae, then cell wall is present and of course cellulose is there. And cell wall is not present in animal cell, that we very well know. Okay, talk about the nuclear membrane, then it is absent in monerans, it is present in protistans and it is present in fungi, plant and animals. Okay, now the body organizations means it is made up of cells or tissues or organ or the organ system. Okay, cellular level of organization is seen in monerans and protistans, whereas in fungi it is multicellular but the tissues are loosely adhered to each other. Okay, and the plantae, tissue and the organ system of body classification is seen. Okay, and the animalia, tissue and the organ system is seen. Okay, now if we talk about their mode of nutrition, then monerans are autotrophic, photosynthetic and chemosynthetic. Okay, and heterotrophic such as saprophytic and parasitic mode is seen. In protistans, they are autotrophic, that means they can synthesize their own food, and heterotrophic, and some they are dependent on the plants as well. Okay, fungi, they are heterotrophic, saprophytic and parasitic is seen. Okay, plantae kingdom, they are autotrophic, we very well know that they prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. And the kingdom animalia, they are heterotrophic, that means they are holozoic and saprophytic. Okay, now have you ever wondered what are the merits of the 5 kingdom classification? Sorry, I haven't mentioned here, but I am explaining to you that what are the merits of the 5 kingdom classification. Merits of the R.H. Whitaker 5 kingdom classification is more scientific and natural. Okay, it is most accepted system of modern classification, as the different group of animals are placed phylogenetically. Okay, the prokaryotes are placed in separate kingdoms as they differ from all other organisms in their organization. Okay, as the unicellular organisms are placed under the kingdom Protista, it has solved many problems related to the position of organisms like Euglena. Okay, the fungi totally differ from other primitive eukaryotes, hence placing the group fungi in a status of kingdom is justifiable. Okay, and the kingdom Plantae and Animalia kingdom show the phylogeny of different lifestyles in the 5 kingdom classification. They are more homogeneous group than the 2 kingdom classification. Okay, this system of classification clearly indicates cellular organization and mode of nutrition, as we have just read body organization and mode of respiration, the characters which have appeared very early in the evolution of life. Okay, so these were the 5 kingdoms which were classified by R.H. Whitaker: Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protoctista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Animalia, and Kingdom Plantae. Now, have you ever thought of its demerits? Demerits of R.H. Whitaker 5 kingdom classification has reference to the lower forms of life. The kingdom of Monerans and Protistans include diverse heterogeneous form of life. In both the kingdoms, there are autotrophic and heterotrophic organisms. They also include organisms which have cells with cell walls and cells without the cell walls. Okay, all the organisms of these 3 kingdoms do not originate from single ancestors. Multicellular organisms, they have originated from protistans, okay, several times. Okay, and organisms like unicellular green algae like volvox and chlamydomonas have not been included under kingdom Protista. This was the main demerit because of their resemblance to the other green algae. Okay, the general organization of slim moles are completely different from the member of Protistans. Okay, in this system of classification, virus have not been given proper place. This is the most demerit of 5 kingdom classification of R.H. Whitaker. Okay, so thank you and stay tuned.